Hello everybody, it's Anne from Anne's Stampin' Up. Welcome to another card making day here in Simcoe, Ontario, where I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. If you live in Canada and you don't have your own demonstrator, you could shop with me. You can reach me at stampsntea@gmail.com, or my demonstrator website is stampsntea.stampinup.net. So before I get started, I have to remember to ask you, if you watch my video on YouTube, if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel if you really like it. The channel's called StampsNTea, and there's a new video about once a week on there. So let's get started. We'll turn the camera down and we will get to what we're going to make today. So today I'm going to make another Christmas card, but it's with a twist. This new stamp set is called Classic Wedding, and it has a lovely car on it, and it has the cans to tie on the back and chairs, and a really nice wedding card it could make. I'm going to use it to make a Christmas card. So that's a new set that we have. It's Stamps and Dies. It's online only, and it's a lovely stamp set. I'm also going to use one of my favorite stamp sets called Christmas Barn. It's from last year, maybe the year before, in the annual catalogue. Another lovely stamp set. That's a very, old-fashioned kind of stamp set, I think. Stamps and Dies again, so we're going to use that. We have, oops, there's that piece of paper. We have a new embossing folder called So Swirly, and I just left the paper in the background so you can see, it's all swirls. This is a huge folder. It is 6 inches by 8.5, so you could emboss a whole half sheet of cardstock with this one folder. So we're going to use that as well. We've also got we have a lot of these Memories and More packs, and it's a great deal. You get cards, you get envelopes, you get all sorts of cards in there to use to make cards, and you get lots of little odds and ends of cards, things that you could pop on the front of cards. Great set, good value for the money. We are going to use one card out of there today. It's actually this card has just a load of presents on it. Now I sat down and I cut out all of the presents on one of these cards, from one of these cards, and I've trimmed some of them. I've made them smaller sizes, and we're going to use those on the card that we're going to make today. So let me put those out of the way, and I'll tuck this back in here because I already have one here. So we'll put that to one side. So let's get started. What have we got to make this card? We've got this card from the Memories and More pack. You can use either side of it, to make a lovely card. These beautiful Scandinavian borders are gorgeous. They make great cards, but we are going to use this side. I've cut out all the presents to start with, just to save some time on screen. The card itself is balmy blue, and it's 11 inches by 4 1/4, and it's scored at 5.5, and it folds and it makes a tent fold card. Then I've got 3 pieces of basic white. I've actually got 4 in case I need them, but you need 3 to make the card. These are 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. I just made them all the same size for ease of making the card. And we have this card here that we cut out. So let's get started. I'm going to take one of these white pieces, 5 3/8. Oh, let me tell you what else I've got to make the card. I've got stamps, of course. I have some Stampin' Write markers. I've got Poppy Parade, Basic Grey, and Grey Granite. I think I'm going to use the Basic Grey. I've got a couple of brushes for swirling colour on my card. A garden green ink pad and a balmy blue ink pad, and I've got some adhesive, some odds and ends here and there. Now I'm going to take this piece of basic white, and I'm going to take my balmy blue. Now have I got another piece of scrap paper? There's a piece. So I've got this piece of scrap paper, which I'm going to put down. I'm going to take my blue blending brush, not a blending brush, what would that, I think it's a blending brush, and I'm going to pick up some colour, and I'm going to colour about half of the card, okay, just lightly. And I'm just giving it some colour all over, and I'm not being particularly careful, and it's not all evenly coloured, you know, but I want to get a good bit of colour on there. I think I better go a little higher there. So that's about just over half of the colour, the card coloured in balmy blue. Now the stamps I'm going to use are really two-step stamping, which means you stamp your basic image and then you stamp a solid image over it. I'll be honest, I don't have good luck with them. I really don't. I'm sorry. So I've come up with my own way of colouring my stamped image, which I'll show you in a minute. So now I've got some garden green, and I'm going to do the same thing. I've changed my brush to a garden green, and I'm going to colour like about a quarter at the top of the card. There. Let's get a little bit darker as well. Okay, so that's it. Put those brushes out of the way and wash them in a minute. And those brushes, they just wash out under the tap. They are great for that. So I'm just going to set that over here out of the way for a minute. I'm taking my next piece of card, and this is going to be for the inside of the card. Let me think, for the inside of the card. So I have a sentiment that says, Merry Christmas to you and yours, and that's from the Christmas Barn stamp set. It says Merry Christmas to you and yours. Looks good, and I'm just going to stamp that for the middle of the card. Oh, that worked nicely. Now I have, we'll put that to one side. Now I've got this piece which is going to be the front of the card. Now I have to be very careful with this piece because everything has to fit on this piece. So I've taken this stamp, I'm just going to set it down there till I find my stamp set and I can show you. It's actually this stamp here that says, it's a long skinny stamp, and it says it's the most wonderful time of the year. But because it's a photopolymer stamp, I can bend it. So I've sort of made it like a little half circle. Okay, I bent that stamp, stuck it to my my block, and I'm going to stamp it. Now what have I got? Green? Yes, I've got garden green. Do I want garden green? Yeah, sure, let's do it in green. If we don't like it, we'll make another one and stamp it in blue. It's garden green. Yes, it is. And I'm going to stamp this. I need my brown foam mat because it's a photopolymer stamp, and I really want a good image on this because we're going to emboss this piece as well. So I'm going to put this right at the very top of the card. Nice. Yes, I think so. I think that's going to be, do I think that's going to be all right? I'm going to turn the card over and stamp it again because I want a really, really good image of this. Because I'm going to emboss the card, I will lose some of the, a little bit of the print, you know. That's better. That's more even. Alright, so we've used that, we can put the green away now. We need the green again. We've got the blue, the balmy blue, and we're going to take the car outline from the classic wedding set. Now I'm going to turn it this way and ink it up this way just because it's a big stamp. And it's easier to put the ink onto the stamp than the stamp into the ink. I'm not sure I've got any there. I Let's have a look. I think I need to try that on my scrap paper. Yep, it's just a colour that you can hardly see. Okay. And I'm going to stamp it on the balmy blue that I created with my my blending brush. And I'm just going to put it down here like that. Yep, nice. Now I have got a little bit of green in there, but that's okay. We're not going to see it when we're finished. This is just all sort of measured by eyeball, and hope I haven't gone too far or too deep with it. Let's have a look. Let's close that. We're going to open the green again because I did forget to stamp the wreath. There it is. There's a tiny little wreath stamp in the Christmas barn set. It's this little wreath here, and it makes a lovely wreath, and I'm going to stamp it in garden green on my piece of scrap card. There. Now the reason I coloured or created a green section was because when I cut it out, I don't want a big white border all the way around. Alright, I want to keep it just nice and green, and it doesn't look quite as harsh when you cut it out. All right, we're going to take this piece here where we stamped "It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year," straighten the edges, and we're going to put that in the embossing folder. Now, as I say, this is a really big embossing folder, 6 inches by 8.5, so you can sort of pick where you want your card to go. I'm going to put mine in this way, I think. Do you want it? Yeah, I think that looks good. I think I'll put it in that way. That'll give me lots of nice swirls. I'm going to take this piece, and I'm going to use the die from the car set, this one, to cut out the car. Now I'm going to tape these down because I don't want them to move very far. I don't want them to move at all. Just move that up a little bit. Make sure it's even. Tape that down. And then we'll take the wreath from the barn set, which is this tiny little circle here. Put that down on the green. Piece of tape on there to hold that in place. And I'll just go to the Big Shot. And I think I've got everything that I need to cut out and emboss. And I will be right back. And here we are. Let's see what we've got. This is our embossed piece, which is lovely. Oh, and we didn't lose too much of the stamping either. That's nice. Sometimes it fades a little bit when you emboss over something you've stamped. Okay, whoops, there's my wreath. Oh, there it is. So there's my wreath. Get that die right back on there, and then we have a car that we've stamped out. And we'll get that die right back on the other set if we can find it. Right here. Now, one thing I did forget to show you when I said the car is two-step stamping. You see, I have coloured a section of cardstock and then stamped the card. What you can do is you stamp the card and then you fill it in with this piece. I just don't have good luck when I'm making a video leaning over, because you almost have to lean right over on top of whatever you've stamped. To get your colour lined up nicely, your coloured piece lined up nicely. Okay, so let me just scooch that off there. I put the plate away. All right, so what I've got, I have a wreath here. Come on. And I have my car, which is coloured. Now the car, I'm going to colour, I'm just using Stampin' Up markers. I've got basic grey here. Let's see, maybe the other side will be a little better. And I'm just going to colour the bumper in. You know what, maybe I will use the pencil tip. And I'm just going to run along the bumper. Maybe if I turn it upside down, then I can see the line I'm trying to go along, you know. Just straighten that up. Not very good at straightening lines up, that's for sure. You know what? Let's have a look. That's a lighter grey. I think we're going to use that. We're just going to fill this in. And you know I can't colour and talk at the same time. Anybody who's watched any of my videos. That's just the bumper. And I'm just going to do a little bit of light grey, what is this? Grey granite around the window on the back of the car. And I'm just going to fill it in. There. And then I think I'll just do a little bit of black on the tires here. There. So that's all the colouring we're going to do on the back on the car itself. We could maybe colour the lights if we wanted to. Let's have a look. Do we want to do the lights? Let's colour the little lights on the back of the car. We'll use the lighter grey, which was the grey granite. Yeah, we needed to do that. Yes, we did. Alright, and that is it. That's all we're going to do. So we've got a little wreath here that needs a little bit of colour. It just needs, I'm using Poppy Parade, and I'm just going to colour the bow on the wreath just quickly. There's only a tiny little bit to colour here. It should take just a couple of seconds. And then I'm just going to dab with my Poppy Parade marker. I'm just going to dab a few berries in here. And I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay, so let's put this card together. So, where is my basic card? Okay, first of all, just a quick reminder, I took this piece from the Memories and More, and I cut out all of the parcels from it. I sat last night and cut the parcels out. Now some of them which were quite large, and I did cut them down. I trimmed them down a little bit. Okay, so I cut all the parcels out from that. I just want to straighten the edge on this one if I have a pair of scissors. Yes, I do. Just didn't look straight enough to me. Oops. Okay, so we have this piece. We'll move that because we didn't need it. We've got this piece here, and it's going on the very front of the card. Okay, now I'm going to use liquid adhesive because I want this to stick. And you know how I always say, you know, when you've embossed something, you may not get, which side am I using? That's a good side. They both look good. Now we're going to put the glue on this side, I think. Yeah, I think we will. If you're using a tape runner, you know, a tape runner is flat and it doesn't necessarily get into the little grooves that you've embossed. So you might just miss some spots. I'm just going to go back and put a bit in that right down that edge, because I want my corners to catch. Okay, so we've got that. I'm going to put this on the front of the card. You've only got about a 1/16 of an inch all the way around, but you've used liquid adhesive, so we've got time to slide it into position. Now I'm going to turn that over and give it a good press, but not too hard, because I don't want to press the embossing out. There. Lovely. That looks great. So now we're going to put the car down. The car is going to go at the bottom of the card, just like that. Now this is where we have to be careful. The car is going to go right there. The presents are going to go on the top of the car and into this space here, so we have to sort of watch what we're doing a little bit. So I think the car we're going to put down flat, and the presents will maybe pop up on dimensionals. We can use liquid adhesive again, we've got it. We're going to put it right to the bottom of the card, in the center, but right at the bottom. I think I need to move that across just a tad. There we are. So there's the car. Got lots of glue there. It should get it should grab nicely. There we are. Let's give it another little press. Okay, so now we've got to pile some presents on the top of the car, and we're going to start with this one. So let's have a look. Dimensionals. Here we have dimensionals. Now we've got this big orange present on the bottom. Okay, that's going to go there. Wait a minute. Let me line my presents up, and then let me see where what I'm gonna put, you know, because I'm not going to use all of these presents. I've got way too many, and I'm not going to use them all, but I'm going to pick, you know, a nice selection. So let's have a look. If we go there and we go here, we have to build it before we stick it down, because we don't want to cover the font, the printing at the top. How about a nice blue? We'll just overlap them so they just sit nicely like that. I may glue these all together and then put them on dimensionals. That would be a smart thing to do. What else do I have? Got that one, got those. Let's pick a couple more. There's a nice one, a little green one. Do you see that will tuck in? So we have to be careful where we're putting this. I want that to tuck. There it goes, down into there a little bit. What about the other side? How about this blue one on the other side? There. This red one I think would look nice. Do we want to put that one in? Sure we do. Let's tuck it down there like that. So we're going to straighten these up, okay, but we've got a nice color selection, if you will. And I think we need to move these up a little bit, because we need to move this up so it's not in the back window, but not so high that it's blocking the print. Okay, so I'm going to put these down. I'm going to put the wreath on the back of the car like that, which is why I didn't bother to print or stamp a license plate. I'm just going to put that down there like that. Alright, let me move those presents out of the way. I think we've got enough for presents here. So I'm going to pick them up, put them over here like this, I've still got to work on my card because I need to know the spacing that I have. Okay, so let me see, we've got this blue one here. Let's give it a dab of glue. Now I'm going to put the glue on the bottom of the back of the present because that's what's going to stick to the present underneath it. Okay, we're going to see, and that's going to go about there. This one's going to go about here, there, and then I had a green. Line it up about the same spot. There, and try and keep them tucked in together. And then what did I have? I had a little green one here. Now I'm going to put the glue on the front of this one because it's going to stick to the back of this. You see, like that. Is that the right one? Let me think. Yeah, I had a blue one over here. Okay. Green one then and a red one. Yes, okay, so blue over here. Maybe pull that up just a little bit. Let me see where I am. Yeah, I think we're still all right. We've got a green one here. We'll make it about the same height as the blue one. There. Set that down on the window so we can see where we are. And we'll tuck this red one right in there like that. That looks great, I think. I'm just going to tuck that in there so that it just sits right there like that. Okay, so we've glued these presents together. Looks like a real dog's breakfast on the back, but we've glued them together. We're now going to pop some dimensionals on them, if we've got dimensionals here. Oh, you know, what about, I had on my desk a wobbly. Could I use a wobbly? I wonder if a wobbly would work. Oops. Let's put the wreath down first before I get sidetracked. Let's have a couple of mini dimensionals on the wreath, I think. I need to pull that one in a bit. I think I can see it from the outside. Just move it in there. 1, 2 and 3. And I've still got one stuck to my finger. Okay, little wreath on the back of the car there. Presents. How do I use this wobbly? This is a wobbly. It's called an Action Wobble, and I'm quite certain I bought them on Amazon, but I just don't know when. Now, let's have a look. Let's take a pokey tool. You know what we should do before we do that? We should put the card on the inside so that we're not trying to line this up. With a wobbly present on the front. So we're just using liquid adhesive again. And because these were 5 3/8 by 4 1/16, we've got a 1/16 of an inch all the way around again. Just enough for a tiny little border. There. There. Now we can put the wobbles on the front. Okay, let's see what happens when we put a wobbly on the front. just like that. Press it down. Make sure it's good. I think they're all good together, all stuck nicely together. And then we're going to line this up on top of the window. Just, whoops, just like that. Something clicked, I'm not sure what. No, I don't like that. No, I don't like that. I'm taking that off. And it's okay to take it off because nobody will see it. And it really did not stick very well. It did not have a good grip. So let's just pop this on some dimensionals. I'm going to make sure we've got lots of dimensionals on here to cover all the presents and make sure they're stuck together. So what I've done is everywhere I've got a present tucked in, I've put a dimensional just to hold two pieces together, really. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to like this better. It's going to be more solid. So now we're going to tuck this down here. So there we have it. That's kind of cute. It's the most wonderful time of the year, and Merry Christmas to you and yours. Yeah, I do like that. So that is today's card. There it is. That's today's card. Another cute little Christmas card. Used a new set called Classic Wedding and an old set called Christmas Barn. So thanks for watching, everybody. As always, actually this was my own design, and as always, if you sell your cards, just put the Stampin'Up Angel stamp on the back, which just says all the supplies used were Stampin'Up supplies. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next week.